Hey, what is going on, everyone? Thanks for watching my video today. Now, it's the first day of the month, February 1st, and that means it's time for another one of my NBA award predictions. I've been doing these at the end of each month for the past 2 months of this season, giving my updated thoughts on who should take home the end of season awards. At the conclusion of each month, I'm going to continue doing it for the month of January, starting right off with the Most Valuable Player Award, the MVP. Now, this is an award that it's actually, out of all of them, I think has fluctuated the most. I had Steph Curry earlier in the year when the Warriors were going crazy and he was on pace. He was coming up and about to break the three-point record, which he did. And since then, he's been on a bit of a slump as a shooter. Then last month, I had Kevin Durant. He was setting the world on fire, keeping the Nets alive, while James Harden was a little inconsistent, while Kyrie Irving was on sabbatical. He's now kind of back, depending on where they're playing. But as I made clear in a video a couple weeks back after his 50-point performance against the Orlando Magic, my current MVP is the one, the only, the process, Joel Embiid, because the man was absolutely devastating in January. I'm pretty sure he was averaging just about 33 points per game, keeping the Sixers alive, willing them back into the race for home court advantage in the playoffs. They are now neck and neck with like 5 other teams, I'll be honest. The East is very close. The Sixers are far from being the obvious best team in the Eastern Conference, but thanks to Embiid, now they have an argument once again. They're up there with the Bulls and the Nets and the Bucks, the defending champs, the Cavaliers, the Heat, and the Sixers. And even Charlotte, if you want to consider them. They're only a couple of games back of everybody else, only 1 or 2. So all those teams are kind of jumbled in one position, but nonetheless, that means team record for the most part can kind of go out the window when you're talking about individual awards this year. And I think no man has performed better individually than Joel Embiid lately. As I said, he's been scoring a ton with his 33 game in the month of January, but what I've been really impressed with, his defense is also very stellar, but what I've been most impressed with this season is his growth as a creator. You know, the Sixers, they have pretty much no point guard this year. With all due respect to Maxey, he's actually been getting better as a creator lately as well, but with number 25 out of the picture and with Daryl Morey not choosing to sign any pass-first type of point guards, real point guards for this team, and with Shake Milton injured, not that he's much of a point guard, we're pretty much left with no real ball handler, and Embiid has taken the mantle up for himself. He's been averaging, he's definitely averaging a career high in assists this year, and especially in the past month, he's been giving you 5, 6, 7 a game. He had a triple-double at one of the games I was at before I came back from Christmas break against Houston, and overall he's the guy who makes the entire team run right now. And when you look at the standings, as I said, it's kind of hard to be like, well, this guy deserves the MVP because his team's the best. This guy doesn't deserve it because, you know, his team's only, like the Westbrook case was, Westbrook was the exception to that rule. Like his team was only a 47-win team. There's nothing like that this year. There's only 2 teams in Phoenix and Golden State well ahead of the rest of the league, and I don't think Curry currently deserves that MVP award with his slump. So I think Embiid is now the clear-cut MVP at this moment in time. Now, there's other contenders. Giannis has been balling out for Milwaukee. He's kind of played some center this year with Brook Lopez injured, but he's not breathtakingly dominant the way Embiid has been. I'm not saying he can't be. We saw him last playoffs, and he probably will be doing that in the playoffs again this year. But at this moment in time, in the regular season, it's a regular season award. I can't give him that award. Durant's hurt now. He's out for, I think, about 2 months. That's the reason I rescinded his status as my MVP favorite. And Jokic is a close second. The Jokic fans, you know, I gave him a couple jabs in the video I had a couple weeks back about Embiid. But if I'm being honest, I'm being realistic. Jokic is very close. He's averaging career-high rebounds. He's been pretty much all of Denver's offense, just as Embiid has been all of Philadelphia's offense. But I think Philly's playing a bit better than Denver. I think Joel is a bit better of a defensive player. Well, not a bit. He's definitely a better defensive player. And he's, you know, I'm not going to say he's close to Jokic as a passer, but he's made some strides in that department. So I think Embiid certainly deserves to be the MVP at this point in the season. Now, moving on to the Rookie of the Year award. This hasn't changed for me all season. It's probably not going to. Cleveland Cavaliers forward center Evan Mobley, the rookie out of USC. He's been transformative for Cleveland. They're 30-win team now. They're in the race for home court advantage, something very few people would have seen coming into this season. That defense, you know, Jared Allen, Garland's been playing quite well both on offense and on defense as a point guard. A lot of good role players like Cedi Osman, Kevin Love, Isaac Okoro as well. They still need a guy to replace the minutes Colin Sexton was giving, and as well as Ricky Rubio before their injuries. But that doesn't take away from Evan Mobley's status as an individual, and what he's been able to do on defense as a rookie is very rarely seen in the NBA. Matisse Thybulle comes to mind as a perimeter guy, but when it comes to a big man down low in the paint, transforming your defense like Evan Mobley has alongside Allen, it's very few. It's like your Tim Duncans with San Antonio. It's that high praise for Mobley right now, and his offense ain't half bad either. He's putting up about 15 and 8 a game. And this Cleveland team, they're going to be a tough out. I don't think they're going to make the finals necessarily because there's a lot more bigger stars in the East, whether you look at Embiid, Giannis, Durant when he comes back. But nonetheless, this Cleveland team has been really fun to see blossom before our eyes this year, and Mobley's been a huge part of that, and I still think he's the obvious Rookie of the Year favorite. You can talk about Franz Wagner and Scotty Barnes and even Josh Giddey and Cade Cunningham. They've been coming on as well. They're all having nice rookie seasons. They deserve consideration for the all-rookie first team, but no one holds a candle to Mobley's status as Rookie of the Year favorite at this point in the year, in my opinion. Moving on to my Defensive Player of the Year, I still got Draymond Green of the Warriors as my favorite. And he's hurt right now. He hasn't been playing, but I think that's really shown his impact on the team. The Warriors are still very good, 38-13 at the time of this recording, but they looked a little slow-paced without Draymond in the lineup, not quite as destructive. Phoenix has passed them for the 1 seed, where Golden State held that earlier in the year. And, Curry without Draymond, now this award isn't about his offense, but you can see the impact Draymond has on the team where guys like Curry aren't able to find their shooting for him. That's because partially, in my opinion, because Draymond's creation isn't there to help out. But on the defensive end, there's not much I haven't said a million times that many people haven't said a million times. Draymond Green has been a destructive defensive player for close to a decade now. And just whether it's as the small ball 5, changing the way other teams have to play on offense, or just taking a forward one-on-one and trying to slow him down, getting steals and blocks, Draymond just holds down the fort for Golden State. And with the way their offense has been slightly underperforming for Golden State for what we're expecting of them, it's been underperforming. Their defense has helped keep them alive the past 2 months, and even with Draymond out the past few weeks, I think when he comes back, he'll slide right into that role. The defense has been a real big part of Golden State's success this year, and Draymond is the chief reason for that. Mikal Bridges and Rudy Gobert both still have the case for this award. Utah's been losing a lot more lately. Memphis has passed them for the 3 seed. As for Phoenix, Bridges has been steady, and he's probably the easy number 2 candidate for this award. You can also make a case for Giannis, but at the end of the day, I think Draymond is still the DPOY favorite. Now moving on to, as I keep saying, my favorite award race, the most improved player race. Before I say who my favorite is, here's just some names that I'm considering. DeJounte Murray, DeMar DeRozan, Darius Garland, Tyrese Maxey, Miles Bridges, Jordan Poole, Tyler Hero, John Morant, Cole Anthony, Bobby Portis, Kyle Kuzma. All these guys have at least somewhat of a case, and in years prior would have been top 3 candidates for this award. But there's so many this year. And at the end of the day, this is a bit boring, but I still got DeJounte as my most improved player at the moment. It's pretty much him and Garland as my top 2 guys. There's all those guys I named, though, have major cases to make for this award. But I got to keep it with Murray because, as I've said past couple of videos of this kind, Murray, he's just become the whole offense in San Antonio. And I don't think many people, we saw him having good potential, but we never saw him being, a triple-double threat like Westbrook was a couple of years back. Well, you could argue still is on a nightly basis. His driving kick game has been good his whole career. He's improved a lot as a three-point shooter. Defensively on the perimeter, he's second to none. We know about his status as a former all-defensive player despite playing only 21 minutes a game. He's playing a lot more minutes this year, and he'll be making that all-defensive team, no questions. His rebounding and assist numbers are way up. And the Spurs, they're not good, but they're not at the bottom of the West. They're better than a couple teams. They compete at least, and that's mainly because of what Murray's been able to do. Garland, close second. He's elevated his game, his efficiency, his passing. He's become a point guard when he needed to be because Sexton was taking that role. Rubio was taking that role. Both of them are out. And it kind of looks like Garland probably was the best point guard of the 3 of them to begin with. He's putting up 7 assists a game, close to 8 at this point. Real reliable shooter for them, scorer for them. And he's going to be huge come playoff time. If we don't know what Darius Garland's playoff Darius Garland will look like, but at the end of the day, Cleveland's going to need him to come through big like a star guard, and we can't say if that will happen, but if he keeps playing like he has in the regular season, Cleveland's going to have a great shot in the playoffs. So, but I do have Murray as a slight edge over him just because he's added more to his game this year, in my opinion. Now, moving on to the sixth man of the year. Once again, I got to keep my award. Tyler Hero for Miami. With Jimmy and Bam being out, I think Lowry missed a little bit of time. Duncan Robinson's been very inefficient compared to usual. And he's just been the steady hand off the bench. He's kind of, I'm not going to say he's like Manu in style, but in terms of his role as you come off the bench, but you're still a top 3 player on the team, that's what Tyler Hero has been this year. He's been a 20-point scorer. He plays 30 minutes a game. I don't think he should make the All-Star team, but he has a case. And that Miami team, they were 1 seed a couple days ago. Chicago passed them once again, but they're going to be in that race all year. And at the end of the day, Hero is a really important part of that team. And if they're going to make the finals like they did in the bubble, he's going to be a major part of it just like he was in the bubble. Now, a couple other candidates I really like. More Cleveland love. Kevin Love is really bought into, no pun intended, but Kevin Love's really bought into this bench role in Cleveland. He's been the most efficient he's been probably in 6-7 years, maybe even since his Minnesota days. He brings energy as a rebounder and an outlet passer like he did in Minnesota. He's making his three-pointers, and at the end of the day, he's a huge part of that Cleveland team. And Kelly Oubre, who I really liked in Phoenix, wasn't sure what the fit issue with him in Golden State was. He just stopped making his threes last year, but he's been doing it. He's been a lot more efficient this year in Charlotte. He's been showing off his athleticism all year, driving to the rim. He's given them about 16 to 17 points a game. Very reliable bench scorer, a really important part of that unit. And him and Miles Bridges together is going to give Eric Collins, the Charlotte announcer, a heart attack with all the athleticism and highlight reel plays they bring to the table. So Oubre also deserves some consideration for sixth man of the year. And Alex Caruso also deserves a shout out. In Chicago, he got hurt, but he certainly is in this race as well. At least he was when he was healthy. And finally, to cap off my awards here, Coach of the Year, I still got Billy Donovan with the Bulls and that they're still the 1 seed right now despite missing Lonzo Ball and Alex Caruso. They're really important defensive backcourt. He's been plugging guys in all year. Ayo Dosunmu is an important part of that team. He's been really impressive as a rookie, especially lately. I think he had 10-plus assists the other night, filling in for Lonzo at the point. But the way he's made this roster gel, when a lot of people were concerned about the defense, they were concerned about, is it a fancy basketball team, not a real basketball team? Too many guys will want the ball. DeMar DeRozan is rejuvenated, and I'm not going to take that away from him. I'm sure he's done plenty of hard work, but that's also, you could argue, the coaching has inspired him to pick his game up a notch, and Billy Donovan certainly deserves recognition for the Bulls' success this year. Plenty of other coaches, though, deserve consideration. Taylor Jenkins is certainly making his case with Memphis. The way they've been playing as a team all year, defensively and offensively, they've shown tremendous improvement. And, of course, J.B. Bickerstaff in Cleveland, they've been a big surprise story, as I keep mentioning in this video. And Steve Kerr and Monty Williams, they deserve consideration as well, because those two teams are probably the two biggest title favorites right now, Phoenix and Golden State. And you could even say Steve Nash, because Brooklyn, that bench has been a major disappointment. They've had 2 stars be somewhat unreliable. Kyrie definitely unreliable. Now they have no Durant. They're still in the race. So you could argue Steve Nash also deserves some consideration, but I got to give it to Billy Donovan here. And I'm going to add something new here at the end of this. I'm going to give my current finals prediction as we head towards June in a couple months in the playoffs. Right now, my finals, as much as I want to say the Sixers, I still can't believe in a team with Tobias and Seth Curry and Danny Green Furkan playing heavy minutes to be a true finals team. I think we're going to surpass our preseason expectations of ourselves, but we're not going to get there. Right now, I got Miami Heat facing off against the Phoenix Suns in this finals. I'll probably say the Suns get their first ever championship win in this finals, but I do think those are the 2 most complete teams from each conference. Golden State versus Phoenix. It's kind of going to be like that Bills-Chiefs game where we thought it was going to be, the championship before the championship. Of course, the Bengals wound up winning anyway, so that proved to be a false statement. But I think the Suns-Warriors before that finals is going to be kind of that matchup that decides the eventual championship, because I think Phoenix, once they get to the finals, they'll take down Miami in 5 or 6 games. Miami will be eventually getting Bam Adebayo back. You would assume Jimmy and Kyle Lowry will be playing a lot more minutes in the playoffs. But when it comes down to it in the finals, I think the Suns make up for last year when they lost to the Bucks. They win it this time around, first championship in franchise history. But that's going to do it for my January NBA awards predictions, as well as a little finals prediction there at the end. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And other than that, have a great rest of your day.